Well, happy 2022, everyone. This is the Shawn1113 Podcast Show. I am your host, Shawn1113. Thank you for joining me, wherever platform you might be listening to at your convenience, anywhere in the world. And also, thank you for everybody for 2021. It has grown. This podcast has grown for over a year and a half now. So it's been a wonderful outlet, a wonderful experience for my podcast to grow on pretty much every platform. And we want to continue that in 2022. With that, um, Shawn Steele's NFL Top 10 upcoming. Also, the over-under picks also for Week 18. But first, I want to get a couple of things here, some thoughts about John Madden that hasn't been said already. About his impact. I not only just from a video game standpoint, from in a small, inspired way, the esports gaming community. Um, Pretty much been. I think Madden inspired a lot of the gaming sports, even though it was there before that. Um, it made now of course Madden players that play Madden for years have played for money for quite a long time now, and it's definitely had an impact on esports, regardless of what game you play or what sports game you play actually, and it's definitely inspired it, and even in some small way fantasy sports like fantasy football, fantasy football, hockey, what have you, in a very tiny way, but it has. As people got more familiar with the game for years, with Madden and 2K and many others, it definitely brought fantasy football mainly to gambling sites at this point. But in some very small way, Madden inspired actually fantasy football to take place. And of course, fantasy sports have been there for years, but still, there was a tiny bit of inspiration by the Madden video game. Madden was definitely Madden is to football like Dick Vitale is to college basketball. That's how legendary it is. He was, and his impact of course, it will never be forgotten by anybody anytime soon. That's how big. That's how like in the broadcasting booth. It took four. He was that much of a giant on like four networks that it's incredible. It's amazing. Coaching, being a winning football coach to a broadcaster that you know found his thing, and it was just like the everyday person. When you watch a football game on television, ever watch a video game, you felt like you were into it. You felt like you knew of the game, So R.I.P. John Madden about that one. Antonio on the flip on the extreme flip side, to be honest, Antonio Brown. Wow, I mean, not a good look when you think about when your coach tells you to go to the game twice and you don't want to go there anyway, and you refuse to go there and you refuse to get in the game and help your team. Not a good way to do it. If we had our respective jobs and that boss tells us what to do and refuses and we refuse to do it, guess what's going to happen to us? Either they tell us to go home, suspended, or be fired on the spot. But the Antonio Brown situation was pretty bizarre. But if you take out the mental health aspect, because obviously it's a mental health issue as well. Something seriously wrong with this guy. And it's been self-inflicted, mainly off the field, the vaccination, fake vaccination stuff, and all the other stuff. It's just something is seriously wrong with this guy's head. I really hope he gets help, but I also don't feel sorry for him because he kicked his own ass out of the league. I don't see any football team from this point forward taking NFL team that is taking a risk like that, taking a risk without some serious repercussions that will happen to that team happen on that team again. But then again, you never know. You really don't. Um, Next one item up for bids: college football. Um, to me, I was right about Alabama, but boy, I was wrong about picking Michigan over Georgia. Michigan might as well stayed at home in Michigan Stadium after defeating Ohio State because they damn sure didn't show up against Georgia, and I underestimated Georgia. Georgia showed up, played, and just kicked Michigan's butt all over the place. But it also goes to prove that the SEC is superior to when it comes to college football, actually. The SEC is superior to any college football conference in the Power Five. There's no doubt about it. Hands down, SEC is probably the best. It's probably the best conference in all college football, without a doubt. It's not even close, and it proves once again. Now, as for Alabama Georgia in the national championship on January 10th, no less, my birthday, no less. I doubted Alabama before in the first one against Georgia. I'm not doubting Alabama on this one. I'm picking Alabama against Georgia in that one. Would it be the least bit surprising if Georgia won? No, absolutely not. But I'm picking Alabama to defeat Georgia. As simple as that. That's the college football pick. By the way, there will be more sports on the way, including NHL, English Premier League soccer, or actually football. Just one, just for clarification purposes. College basketball will be on the way. More college basketball content will be going on the way, especially when we get into March, the conferences and March Madness basketball tournament as time goes on. But now we get to the NFL, Shawn Steele's top 10 NFL rankings as of week 17. Here we go. Let me give you some honorable mentions first. Los Angeles Rams and Los Angeles Chargers, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, New Orleans, San Francisco. The reason I put honorable mention there, because they're in the hunt. Well, 5 of the 6 are in the hunt for the playoffs. The Rams are all already in the playoffs, and I do not like what they're. I do not like what they're. I do not like the Rams right now in a sense, not because they deserve to be in the 10 or anything, but the reason they're honorable mention is just there's something. I think mainly in the quarterback position, you're very shaky there. I think everything else would be good, but but there's something about Matthew Stafford that just doesn't. Something's not right with the quarterback position. Everything else would be fine. Everything else in all the aspects would be good. The Rams can be at times very mediocre to shaky. They barely beat the Ravens, to be honest. But with that, the other ones are in the playoff picture. Yes, people are going to say my Miami Dolphins are not in the playoffs, but I'm actually proud of them in a sense because they made it that far back to even be competitive. I think a couple of games that should have been won by my Dolphins should have been should have been the Atlanta game, and especially the Jacksonville game in London. And boy, did that hurt. The Jacksonville game, more than anything else, giving them their only 2 wins, that was the one that hurt the most, in my opinion, about my Dolphins. But I'm still proud of them. I always will be a fan of Miami Dolphins. That will never, ever, ever change, no matter what. With that, let me put my top 10. Green Bay, the undisputed number 1 team in football. Tampa Bay, number 2. Number 3 is Cincinnati. Number 4 is Kansas City. Number 5 is Arizona. Number 6 is Dallas. Number 7 is Tennessee. Number 8 is Buffalo. And yes, I'm going to put New England at number 9. Yes. For all you New England fans, yes. And then we welcome new to the rankings, actually, the Philadelphia Eagles. I hope people don't sleep on Philadelphia. They're in the playoffs. Congratulations to them. With that, now my over and under picks for week 18 in the NFL season. Here we go. Dallas and Philadelphia is 42.5 over under. I'm picking over. Washington and the New York Giants is 38.5. Over under is 38.5. I am picking under 38.5. Seattle, Arizona has a number of 48. Over under at 48. I'm picking over 48. Tennessee and Houston is 43 right now. Over or under. I think they're going to go under 43. New York Jets and Buffalo. The number is over and under number is 43.5. I'm picking under 43.5. And Chicago and Minnesota, over and under is 44.5. I'm picking the under 44.5 on that one. With that, that is your Shawn1113 Podcast Show. Thank you so much for listening. And if you're interested, please make a voicemail message. Please follow and comment on the voicemail as well. And thank you for listening to this podcast. And as always, please stay encouraged no matter what.